ears gonna hear me. Through the spirit we see clearly. They swinging if you get near me. Now your boy blowing the trumpet. I used to pull up and dump it. Toting them guns out in public. Riding on off, that was fun shit. Boy, I don't flex for the IG. Wanna go script a script, nigga, try me. Keep a scallop, but he right beside me. To break the laws of God, I don't like things.
Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 10. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, and they verse 10. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore hath the Lord pronounced all this great evil against us?
Why is the Lord pronounced this great evil against the Israelites? We're his people. He loves us. He chose us, right? Read.
Or what is our iniquity?
What is our iniquity? What did we do? We know what we did, but elaborate. Read.
Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Lord our God?
Go ahead.
Then shalt thou say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me.
Your fathers have forsaken us, so it's the judgment of your forefathers. All the way back in Egypt. We're still getting punished off for that. And that's what lamentation is going into as well. Read.
Saith Yahweh, and have walked after other gods.
Walked after other gods. Read.
And have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law.
Exactly. That's why we're getting punished. We worship Esau. We worship Janus. We worship, what's another god? For February, I forgot that god. All type of madness. There's Saturnalia, all that type of stuff. Tammuz, all that stuff, man. All that stuff is our judgment for doing these things. What's going on, man? Do you got any questions, man?
Yeah.
What's your nationality?
What's my nationality?
Yeah.
Palestinian.
Palestinian?
Yeah.
You're born there or what?
Born here.
Born in America?
Yeah.
Are you Muslim? You don't practice Islam?
Yeah, technically.
Are your parents Muslim?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
What would you consider yourself actually?
In terms of faith?
No. National, ethnically. Would you consider yourself an Arab?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, not a problem. So do you believe in the Bible?
Do I believe? What do you mean by that question?
Do you believe in the words of God? In the Bible or in the Quran, either one. You don't practice any type of religion.
Yeah. It's not really like,
You weren't raised in it? Not a problem?
What's that?
You weren't raised in it?
I wasn't raised in it, no.
Your parents practice it though?
We're secular.
Okay, so he's basically just Americanized? He's just American?
I mean, usually, I don't want to say that, because there's a lot of like, I guess you could, like westernized?
Westernized, yeah, westernized.
Right.
Not necessarily American.
Yes or no, I think like non-religious, that's definitely not like westernized, though, like, you know what I mean, like, that's not, yeah, probably not.
I mean, if you don't practice would you consider that your culture though? Is this on your culture back home?
Culture?
If you want to call it your own?
Yeah, but then, like Palestinian culture is my culture.
That's what I mean.
But there's like Muslim Christian, there's Muslims, Christians.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really.
That's what I'm familiar with, so that's not a problem.
Yeah. I'm not like, I'm not gonna say like, you know, you're Palestinian, you're practicing religions, and you're not Palestinian. That's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Understandable. Yeah, like I said, I'm familiar with that. I've never been there, obviously. I'm just asking questions because that's.
I would say Islam is definitely like the dominant.
That's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, it's the dominant religion. It's about like, you know, 3% Christian right now. That's about it.
Okay. So if you went back there, more likely they'd be practicing Islam.
I mean, yeah, I think so. Yeah, these days, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these days,
So how do you feel about Benjamin Netanyahu and all those guys over there?
Feel about it?
Yeah. Are they bombing your people?
Bothering them?
Bombing.
Yeah.
Killing them in massive amounts.
Absolutely, yeah.
How do you feel about those guys?
Right. Oh yeah, I see the Star of David now. I know I'm starting to piece together like what's going on.
Well, it's not the Star of David, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah. How do I feel about it?
Yeah, we're not Israelis at all. We're not Israelis. So.
Okay, I got you.
But I just want to know from that perspective, because we think those guys are frauds.
Yeah, no. Oh, for real. Okay. Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu.
The Israeli people, yeah.
Yeah. It's like typical kind of like European colonist type of guy.
European colonists. Oh, wow. European colonists.
Yeah.
So do you believe those are the real Jews over there?
Right. Do I believe that those are the real Jews?
Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israelis, the European converts, are they Jews? Give me revelation.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that, like, are they the real?
The biblical Jews. That's why I started off with.
That's what you start with the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I asked you if you believe in the Bible. And I know what your stance was, or your religion, or anything. So I just want to gauge, and then obviously.
No, you like start off with what's your ethnicity. You like start there.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know.
Like, honestly, I saw the Star of David. That's why I'm like.
Yeah.
That's kind of why. I mean, the Kufi and the Star of David is very confusing for me. That's why I think.
Yeah, we can explain that in a second. I just want to get that answer, and then we can go into that if you want.
Like Benjamin Netanyahu? Yeah, I mean, he's like, Christopher Columbus, George Washington, whatever. I mean,
I mean, like I said, they didn't necessarily murder in that fashion, but they are bombing the Palestinians like there's no tomorrow. I do see that on a daily basis.
Nah, but see, the thing is, bro,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're right, but you have to also understand too that, like, we have, like, it's a different time. Like, you can't get away with the genocide at that level, like the Native Americans. You could say because of, like, there's, like, systems in place that just won't allow.
Well, I don't agree. With that.
You don't? Okay.
Because let's just look at the facts.
Okay.
You mentioned Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
What did they do? They came over here, slaughtered hundreds of millions of people over the course of hundreds of years. And now what happened? They're at the top of the world. They're at the top of the mountain. They created a government. Then they created a system to oppress those same people. You know what they're doing to the Native Americans? Building pipelines through their land, digging up uranium, digging up natural gases, pushing them further and further out of their own homeland. And then what happened over there in Palestine? You mentioned they conquered that land. It's not their land to begin with, but off that notion, the Palestinians didn't necessarily do anything to them. They didn't necessarily do anything to the Israelis. But guess what? Since the Israelis aren't necessarily the real people that belong in that land, they're bombing the Palestinians, who also, quote unquote, aren't necessarily indigenous to their land either. But they know those fake Jews, the Jewish people, they wish they were Jewish, that's where they get it from. They know that they are the real people. Pull up that quote. You know what I'm talking about? On the flyer. You know what I'm talking about? The president of Egypt. Yeah, president of Egypt. Look up that one. And then read this real quick. And this is why we read in the Bible how we know who those people are.
Which president of Egypt, though?
Back in Abdul Nasir. What's that?
Sadat?
No. Abdul Nasir Said or something like that. Yeah, let me get this first, actually. And then we can go into you said the Star of David, and what else did you say?
Yeah.
What's that? The Shemaj?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Shemaj. No.
Where's the flyer?
Yeah, where the flyer at? Hey,
Flyers.
let me see the flyer.
Flyers. The one with the president of Egypt. You know which one?
No, he don't believe it. The Negro one.
It's on the Negro one.
Let me see. Here you go. Gamal Abdul Nasir. Yeah, read that.
This is Gamal Abdul Nasir, which is the second president of the United Arab Republic, formerly president of the Republic of Egypt. He says the Europeans claiming to be Jews are nothing more than Hebrew-speaking Gentiles.
Hebrew-speaking Gentiles. You familiar with a Gentile is?
Yeah.
Like another nation that's basically not an Israelite. Read.
The president of Egypt, Gamal Abdul Nasir, said, damn, I can't even read that.
Pull it up on your phone.
What's his name?
Gamal Abdul Nasir. We can pull it up on your phone. That's small print. But yeah, we're going to get that quote in a second. But in the meantime, just read this real quick, the verse.
Revelation 2:9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty.
So it's basically the world calls Christ. Obviously Jesus Christ is a prominent figure. I don't know if you believe him or not, but you're familiar. Issa, like in the Quran. Issa in the Quran. So Jesus Christ is speaking here in the book of Revelation, talking about works, tribulation, and poverty. So the people that are in poverty, who you would see today are black people, Hispanic people, Native American people. Not the Jews in Israel, but this is what he says, read.
I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
You're rich, not monetarily, but in a spiritual sense. Because of the promises from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, read.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
The what?
The blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
The blasphemy was the filthy, wicked lie, with people that say they are Jews, but what?
And are not.
And they're not the Jews, read.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
The synagogue of Satan. That's what Jesus Christ calls anybody that calls himself a Jew that's not a Jew. Benjamin Netanyahu calls himself Jewish or an Israeli. An Israeli is what? What's an Israeli? Do you know what that is? Like the actual term? The definition?
I mean, they sort of made that all up.
Exactly. The state of Israel, but it's a country. How's it a state, but it's a country? Because, exactly, inhabitant of the land.
Yeah.
A true person that was a Jew would be an Israelite. That's what they would call themselves. So they're just a Jew. But read that.
You will. This is his quote.
Read them here. Go ahead.
He goes, the Europeans claiming to be Jews are nothing more than Hebrew-speaking Gentiles.
Read.
The last president of Egypt, the late president of Egypt, Gamal Abdul Nasser, stated on television.
He said it on television. What did he say?
You, parentheses, the Jews, will never be able to live here in peace.
You're not going to be able to live here in peace. That's why you get war with the Palestinians left and right. Go ahead. Why?
Because you left here black.
You left what?
You left here black
You left Israel black and what?
and came back white.
Read.
We cannot accept you.
That's why.
Right.
The Palestinians know those aren't the real Jews because the real Jews are people of color. Go ahead.
And this she said in 1952.
1952. So when they get to the land? 1948, right?
Yeah.
So 4 years later, it was like, wait a minute, these dudes ain't supposed to be here. And guess what happened? The whole, what's he gonna say?
No, I'm listening. I mean, there's things moving in my head.
Yeah,
I want to hear your
those are facts.
Yeah.
The Jews left black and came back white. Like there's no way this is a biblical narrative. Give me where you at? Oh, give me Exodus 4. Exodus 4 real quick. What you got? Which one? Yeah. Give me this real quick. You familiar with Moses? Let's see what Moses looked like in the Bible. And then fast forward to 1948, how those people got there. It doesn't make any sense. Just biblically. And if Moses is a certain color, that means his people are the same color.
Oh, you're talking about the hand in the
Yeah, it's like verse 4 or 5.
Slack.
Or 6.
Yeah, it's right here, 4. Exodus chapter 4, verse 4. And the Lord said unto Moses, put forth thine hand and take it by the tail. Oh, Slakia, not 6, you're right. Verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he
bosom's right here, like his chest, like a pocket. Read.
And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
Leprous as snow. Leprosy is what? It's a curse in the Bible. But it says leprous as snow. That means he put his hand in, took it out, and it became white. Go ahead.
And he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again.
Put it back into your bosom. Read.
And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom.
Took it back out. Read.
And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
Came back the same way he put it in. His other flesh. What's his other flesh? He was melanated. He was brown skinned, according to the Bible. Give me Revelation 1 real quick. You know what you got? No. Hold that. And then give me because he want to know where to start David. Give me First King.
Okay, I'm not gonna clap back hard, but I just want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a lot of black Israelites, quote unquote, from Chicago, from Chicago particularly, that moved to Israel.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they live in the Negev desert. Like, I'm just
Dimona. They live in Dimona.
Okay, so I'm curious. Like,
there's a whole community over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're like, American black, not Ethiopian, not whatever. And they, I think I'm not sure, but they are part of like this movement to some degree. Yes or no? I don't know.
There are people. Those are people. Of
Okay,
course.
but they moved to the desert in Palestine. So,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
like and they serve in the IDF too. So what's
I didn't hear that part.
they also serve in the IDF, and they
have to.
They open about
Yeah,
it.
they have to for citizenship. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the deal with that? I don't know, man. I think there's
Well, I mean, that was something that it was like in the 60s or 70s, I believe.
Yeah.
So they went over there. Like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's not how we're going to get the land back. Those Israelis are not going to give them any power. They're not going to give them any type of rights. And obviously, every person that's over there has to serve in the military as a man that's over a certain age.
It is bad to a point that they're fighting for the enemy, though. They are fighting for the Jewish people, which is not right, man. You know?
Exactly. Like I said, living over there isn't necessarily an issue because they don't necessarily, keep the same customs per se. But just to answer your question, black Israelites, that's not necessarily a thing. Even though they look black, that's a common term. People say, not a problem. He's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. Everybody up here is an Israelite. You're not an Israelite, but we're Israelites. We can be any shade. Some Israelites can look like you, but it's by your bloodline. That's why I asked you. What are you? I didn't know if he was white. I don't know if he was, you could be from Ukraine, you could be from South America. Who knows?
Very like ambiguously white.
Exactly. So I mean, like I said, there's different European nations all across the world, but they're all European. You can live in China and be black, but are you Chinese now? No, of course not.
Okay.
Your lineage is of a Negro or a quote unquote black person.
Yeah.
So there's white people in South Africa. Are they from Africa? No, of course not. They moved there. They had their own culture there, and whatever the case may be. There's Chinese people living in Africa. There's East Indian people living in Jamaica. They're not Jamaican. Of course they're not Jamaican. They just live there. They uprooted people there and started business there. They had their families there. That's all it means. But everybody goes back to a biblical lineage in the Bible. But what you got?
Revelation 1.
We touched on that. Give me 1 Kings 7. Did you have any other questions? I'm gonna go into the quote unquote star. Give me Wisdom of Solomon.
I want to kind of.
Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 2. And then give me 1 Kings 7 and 18. And then give me Exodus. Give me that.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 2. But deemed either fire.
Let me ask you this. I don't want to assume anything. You said this is a star. Do you think that's a star? Shab, move your thing. That's a star?
Well, tell me. I mean,
Like if you look at the sky, you're not going to see that symbol, right?
Word.
Because what? The star is not that simple. That's just basic common sense. But let me just read the Bible. Read.
But deemed either fire or wind or the swift air or the circle of the stars.
The what?
The circle of the stars.
Read.
Or the violent water or the lights of heaven to be the gods which govern the world.
So a star is a circle. It's a ball of gas. Just like a planet is a circle, right? There's no that's simple. You're not gonna look up at the sky and see that ever, because that's not true. That's just something that somebody made up. A star is not. You'll never see that symbol unless it's drawn on paper or on something like that. So the Star of David, that's not even biblical. There's no such thing as a Star of David in the Bible. What it's called is actually a lily. Give me 2 Ezra 5. Yeah, give me Exodus 28. Okay, Exodus 28. Give me that.
Exodus 28 and 33. And beneath, let me start up a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, this is about the priest's garment. Here we go. Start with Exodus 28 and 30. And thou shalt put the breastplate of judgment of Urim and Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth before the Lord, and Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before the Lord continually.
It's talking about a certain set of stones that he had on his chest, kind of like a necklace almost, right?
And there shall be a hole upon the top in the midst thereof, and they shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, and as it were a whole habergon, that it be not ripped. Verse 33. And beneath upon the hem of it thou shalt make pomegranates.
Be what?
Pomegranates.
A pomegranate. Come closer. This is a pomegranate. That's the sign right there. It's a pomegranate, and it's also a lily. We're gonna get to that too. Read. Give me that in 1 Kings 7. What you got?
1 Kings 7 and 18. And he made the pillars and 2 rows round about upon the one network to cover the capitors that were upon it, upon the top.
On the top, talking about the temple. Solomon's built the temple, the first temple in Israel. Solomon built the temple, but guess what's on the temple, right?
And so did he for the other chapters. In the chapters that were on top, upon the top of the pillars, were of lily work.
Lily work. What's lily work? This symbol again. This was on the temple. This is on the priest's garments. This is what we wore in the ancient world. It's not a star. It's not anything like that. In the Bible, plain. It's right there. People that call it the Star of David are misinformed, and it's not true. It's pretty simple. Show them that.
And also, with the menorah, it wasn't flat. It was three-dimensional, right? It was pretty much like that. And if you look at from the top of it, you will see that. You will see that symbol right there.
Yeah, man. Like I said, that's just simple. 1 + 1 = 2. Right there in the Bible, it's not necessarily a Star of David, but give me this last one. Read.
2nd Ezra chapter 5 verse 24. And of the lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit.
One pit is the land of Israel. It's talking about God, what he chose. Read.
And of all the flowers thereof one lily.
God chose a lily. That's what God's favorite plant is. Is that it? That's plain out of the Bible, man.
Yeah.
Just simple information you can take home, pass on whoever you need to be, or whoever you need to talk
Ask
to.
you this. I'm not right now, but I'm curious.
1 Kings 7:18.
The lily.
Yeah, the lily work. It's not a Star of David. It's a lily or a pomegranate symbol. Go ahead.
This movement, I mean, you answered a lot of questions. I honestly have been very perplexed. For a lot of years, I see you guys out here sometimes.
Yeah.
I just don't ever ask any questions or whatever.
Yeah, we're here to answer questions, man. We don't have to curse anybody out all the time. We do our job, but now, it's a balance up here, man.
Now I think it's the very important question, right? And the situation of the land, and this movement in particular. Now, never mind let's say Israel, or you know what I mean, or Netanyahu, or the Likud party. Forget that. This movement in particular, how do you see the land? Word. Yeah, word. How do you see the land? And how is it? How does it sort of intersect with your movement and your beliefs?
What do you mean? How do we see the land? What do you mean?
You know what I mean? The Zionist movement from Europe, they see the land as exclusively sort of like a white
inheritance.
It's like a white Euro ethno state, basically.
Oh, they created that. I mean, that's fine. Hold on, brother.
But in this movement, how do you see the land, and how does it sort of intersect with the Israelites, so to speak, and the Palestinians?
I didn't hear that last part.
How does it intersect with the Israelites, so to speak? So your movement and the Palestinians. What is your relationship?
Give me Zechariah. I believe it's Zechariah 6. Yeah, give me Ezekiel 7. Give me 7.
Ezekiel 7:24. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen.
Worst of the heathen, non-Israelite. This in reference to this is talking about people that. Well, let's go explain. I don't want to give it away, right?
And they shall possess their houses.
Possess our houses. What's our houses? The land of Israel. That's where your house is, right? In your land, right?
I will also make the pomp of the strong cease, and their holy places shall be defiled.
Our holy places will be defiled by what? Them defiling our temple, destroying our temple.
Right.
What happened? Are you familiar with a little bit of history? What happened over there? 70 AD?
Well, fill me in.
70 AD, well, before 70 AD, Israelites were being ruled by the Romans. Around Jesus' time, things like that. After that, he died. Jews were persecuted. White Romans destroyed the temple along with the Syrians, things like that. And guess what? They've been there ever since. White people have been there ever since. We were scattered abroad, which is in the Bible as prophesied. The Israelites were scattered in all 4 corners of the earth. White people took over that land. They possess it up until this day. Obviously, the Israeli people, the Palestinians over there, those are people that are supposed to be there at this very moment. Even though they are there, like I said, it's not necessarily an issue, but there will come a time where they will be destroyed out of their land as well.
So it's the same kind of narrative. There's still this kind of weird genocidal end to the story.
It's not gonna be genocide. It's gonna be righteous recompense.
That sounds.
Give me 2 Thessalonians.
Right?
What's that?
I mean, no, but film.
But here's the thing.
No. But let me hear the next quote. I want to kind of know.
I understand.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
like I said, it's not going to be genocide because it's going to be, like I said, essentially it's going to be payback because they killed us and they kicked us out of the land. Like I said, it was ordained by God, but God's going to allow a payback in a sense. Give me 2 Thessalonians, read.
2 Thessalonians 1:6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
That's what it says in the Bible. We're going to pay you back for people that trouble us, kicking us out of the land, oppressing us, pushing us fake narratives that we're terrorists and preaching the truth of the Bible. That's what the government says about us. If you go on, what is it? The Israelites, the people you see, like people, are you saying you're scared to come to us? I don't know if you're scared, but
I'm
you don't want to come to us?
No, because it's I mean, honestly, like, you know, when I see the Star of David, it's funk on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, people have a presupposition
like,
about it.
I don't know what it's gonna be like or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like we're not Zionists. We're nowhere near that. We're not out to kill anybody. We're not here to, you know, inflict pain. That's just stupid. Like, we don't have any authority to do that anyway. We're in another person's country.
Yeah.
We don't have any jurisdiction. We don't have
No, but I mean,
we don't have human rights essentially here. So how are we gonna inflict any type of judgment on anybody? We're just telling people that judgment that will happen according to the prophecy, but we're not going to enact that or be the first to throw a punch or shoot nobody. Like, that's not what we're here for.
Yeah. So it's like, no, I see what you're saying. I honestly, like, this particular movement, I've seen, like I said, I've seen it around. But whenever me and my friends are at a protest, we say just keep moving, don't talk. You know what I mean?
And listen, we don't care. If you come to us, we're gonna deal with you accordingly. Whether it's peaceable, or we gonna fight fire with fire. Period. I don't mind. We can go either way. But if we have peaceable dialogue, even though you're a heathen and you are going into slavery, I have to tell you that you will be in slavery, and you will be slaughtered. But oh yeah, you're an Arab. My bad, you're an Arab. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you this: the white man, the fake Jews, every Caucasian on earth that goes back to what's it called, an Edomite, they're gonna be exterminated. You, on the other hand, you're still going into slavery, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be allowed to go back into your own land, have your own jurisdiction, your own settlement, but you're still gonna serve under the God of Israel, under our laws.
So it's essentially I'm hearing the same thing. Like,
Well, we're not gonna bomb you for doing anything
No, but check this out.
for just living.
Now,
Which-
like, for example, like my family were Gaza,
Yeah, that's what
right?
What's
So
that?
my family were Gazawi. We're from Gaza. So
Yeah, you're an
pretty
Arab.
much describe exactly what's going on.
True.
You guys are not the original inhabitants of Gaza, because the original inhabitants of Gaza were the Philistines. Did you know where the word Palestine came from?
Okay, fill me in.
The Roman Emperor Hadrian, out of despite for the real Jews, not these fake rats that are in the land today, he named the land after the expulsion of the real Jews, after the ancient enemies of the Israelites, which were the Philistines, right? And that's where you get the word Philistine or Palestine. Later on, when the original land was in Arabia, moved into the land. See, because after 70 AD, after the Romans destroyed this place, after Rome fell, who was ruling that land? The Ottoman Empire, which were Turks, which still are white people, right? So after the Ottoman Empire fell, they had Arab people that moved into there that was ruling, that started inhabiting in the land, which is you guys. You know what I mean? So you guys came from Arabia. That's the whole point. You're not your people,
listen.
but your people aren't native to Gaza.
No, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. From what I understand, no matter where anyone's at, when it comes to Palestine, or whatever your sect of Christianity wants to call it, there's like a who was first competition always.
But we go about the Bible though.
No, I know.
Because who are the Philistines?
No, I'm Palestinian. Like,
No, you're Palestinian. Who were the ancient Philistines?
Listen, bro. Philistine is how you say Palestine.
Exactly, but who named the land Palestine? The Roman Emperor Hadrian. That's history, right? He named the land after the ancient enemies of the Israelites, which the ancient. The ancient Philistine, the ancient Palestinians were black people. That's where they were.
Hey, man,
They were
hey,
African.
Hey, man, I'll be straight with you, bro. I got dark cousins, I got light cousins. Palestine is an intersection of a lot of places, bro.
I believe
You know what
you.
I'm saying? So, like you're saying it's him, apparently the same ethnicity. So,
Well, we're the same nation.
they same nation, whatever. But I mean, honestly, like
I'm from a different tribe, but he's of my nation still.
Oh, man, like it's just really sad to me that like still like people are still talking about murdering us. So, but anyway,
God's talking about murdering you.
Yeah.
And you're going into slavery. And that's why we kind of curse out heathens like you, man. As much peace as we can have with a dialogue, you're still going into slavery, man. Because the Arabs had us in slavery.
That's right.
You know? It doesn't matter how much English you speak, it doesn't matter what you claim. If you're not an Israelite, you're going into slavery, period. Read that. Give me Zechariah first. Give me that.
Zechariah chapter 9, verse.
See, man, you try to teach a heathen something, and once it talks about getting judgment and recompense, oh no, why is it all about murder? Because you guys murdered us. The fake Jews murdered us. The East Indian murdered us. The Moabite murdered us. The Hamites murdered us. That's all they do. They can do anything they want to the Israelites, but guess what? We can't get our get back. Give me that Zephaniah 2 and 8, I believe. What's he gonna say?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're doing them a favor at the end of the day.
Exactly. We getting back the people that stole your land. Or, actually, it's not even your land. Actually, you're there, but we're gonna get the people that's bullying you out of the place. So we can get back our prominence, and then you can live in harmony, man. Don't you live in harmony? That's why your parents came to America, man. They was trying to get bombed. Read.
Zechariah chapter 9, verse 2 through 6. And the mob also said, and the mob also shall border thereby.
Read.
Tyrus and Zidon,
Tyrus and Zidon, Hamites, read.
though it be very wise.
Uh-huh.
And Tyrus did build herself a stronghold,
Read.
and heaped up silver as the dust,
Uh-huh.
and fine gold as the mire of the streets.
Go ahead.
Behold, the Lord will cast her out, and he
The Lord will cast her out. That's what happened. The ancient Tyrus and Zidonians were cast out by Alexander. That's exactly what happened. Them Philistines, they got casted out right here in the Bible. Read.
and he will smite her power in the sea,
Smite her power in the sea. Read on.
and she shall be devoured with fires.
Read.
Ashkelon shall see it in fear.
Ashkelon shall see it in fear. Who else?
Gaza also shall see it,
Guys are also going to see this destruction. Read.
and be very sorrowful.
Go ahead.
And Ekron, for her expectation shall be ashamed,
Uh-huh.
and the king shall perish from Gaza.
King gonna perish from Gaza. Ain't that where he says he's from? These aren't your people that's described right here. It's talking about Hamites. But if you look up, what is it called, the siege of Tyre on Wikipedia, it talks about this very same prophecy as a historical fact, as prophesied by the prophet, the holy prophet Zechariah, an Israelite. Read.
And Ashkelon shall not be inhabited. Verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
A bastard's gonna do an action. After the Philistines and Tyre and Zidon get casted out, after we got casted out, a bastard's gonna dwell in our land. Them fake white Jews, them Caucasians, like he said. He said it himself, those are Europeans. Europeans are not from Israel. Read.
And I will cut off the pride of the
He's
Philistines.
gonna cut off the pride of the Philistines. He's still prideful. He's a fake Philistine and he's still prideful, man. That's why he has to get killed, for his pride. And our people are gonna get killed for their pride eventually. But the judgment of the heathen is gonna be way worse. It's gonna be 1,000 times more, as it says in I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon. What you got?
90:14. Righteousness.
No. I wanted no, give me Galatians 4 actually. That's what I want for the damn Arab. 2 and 8 or 2 and 6.
Galatians chapter 4, verse 22. For it is written.
Zechariah 2.
For it is written that Abraham had two sons.
Abraham had 2 sons. Read.
The one by a bondmaid,
The one by a bondmaid, Ishmael. Read.
the other by a free woman.
The one by a free woman, which is Isaac. Read on.
But he who was born, but he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh.
Born after the flesh. Abraham had a son with Hagar, Ishmael. He's born after the flesh. That's who bore the Arabs. That dude that came up here, talking madness. He was learning, but at the end of the day, he's a damn heathen, man. He wants to buck up against the prophecies, but it's going to happen whether he hears or forbears, just like our people. The damn idiot want to get mad because he doesn't want to get murdered, but guess what? He's not going to stop from getting murdered because it's judgment from the Lord. Read.
But he of the free woman was by promise.
He the free was by promise. Isaac. Read on.
Which things are an allegory?
Which things are an allegory for what? Read.
For these are the two covenants.
These are the two covenants. Read on.
The one from Mount Sinai,
One from Mount Sinai. Read.
which gendereth to bondage, which is Agar.
Which is Hagar. Hagar is going to be in bondage. Read.
For this, Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia. That's who's generally the bondage. They're going to be in bondage to the Israelites. Go ahead.
And answereth to Jerusalem.
They answer to who?
To Jerusalem,
They answer to the Israelites. Read on.
which now is and is in bondage with her children.
Exactly. They're in bondage with our children. That's what's going to happen in the future. But we're in bondage right now. But eventually we're going to be ruling on these damn heathens, especially the damn heirs. We're trying to steal our covenant. That's what he said, right? There's a constant war for this. We were here first. No, you weren't there first. The ancient Syrians and Sidonians, what you just read, were kicked out. The Israelites were kicked out. Y'all moved in, proclaimed their land. The Romans called it Palestine. The fake Jews called the state of Israel, the Israelis. And now it's all confusion over there. It's war, not peace. But guess what? When we get back there, it's going to be peace. We're going to be living in prosperity. And then we're going to have these nations in slavery, man. And then they go back to the land and they're still going to be in subjection to us, serving our God Yahweh. Read.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free,
Jerusalem is above Hagar and Ishmael, the Arabs, is free. Read.
which is the mother of us all.
The mother of all the Galatians. That's a cut. Saying the Galatians are heathens, man. Is that it? All right, so we'll
Read the
go
next
on.
one before this reading goes down.
No, that's all I wanted. What you got? Read.
Zechariah 2 and 8. For thus says the Most High Power of hosts,
Read.
after the glory he has sent me unto the nations which spoiled you.
Go
For
ahead.
he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Right.
Why you guys always have to talk about somebody being killed? You know why? Because you touch the apple of God's eye, the Israelites, man. Every other nation that's not Israelite touch our people over the course of history, and they have to get judged. First Maccabees 2 and 10, and then you give me man, what was it saying? Slot. All these nations had their turn. Give me Jeremiah 30 and 16. All these nations had their turn with us being in subjection to us. So guess what? They're gonna get double the cup. They're gonna get 1,000 years of slavery and judgment and bondage, and then they're gonna have to give us all their money, man. And that's how it works. Give me that.
First Maccabees 2 and 9. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets.
Read.
Her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation has not had a part in her kingdom?
What nation have not had a part in the Israelites' kingdom, taking us apart, putting us in slavery, putting us in subjection, stealing our gold and our temple and our money, destroying our temple? Read. Desecrating our temple like the Greeks did. Read.
And gotten of her spoils.
Gotten over our spoils. What nation didn't do that? The Persians did it. The Medes did it. The Moabites did it.
Right.
They didn't spoil our temple, but they did take our. What they take the Ark of the Covenant? Didn't they take the Ark of the Covenant? Or was it the Philistines? Oh, the Philistines did that. Philistines took the Ark of the Covenant. And guess what they got? They got the Hamites, not no damn fake Arabs. And then when they got hemorrhoids for it. That's what we look it up in the Bible. The Hamites got hemorrhoids for taking the Ark of the Covenant. You can read about it. But anyways, give me the last one. I'm gonna close out with that. I'm gonna read this. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured.
This has written in the Bible, man. I don't care if it's an Asian, a white man, a damn goop, whatever the case may be. They're gonna get that judgment, man.
Right.
Whether I say it nicely or I raise my voice and look you right in the eye and tell you you're going into slavery and getting put to death. That's how it works, man. Ain't no fair here, man. What the hell? You scared of some damn fake virus with a mask on? I'm gonna tell you your judgment. That's what you really be afraid of.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right.
And all thine adversaries, every one of them,
Every what?
every one of them,
Every one of them. That Arab man, the damn white man, the damn East Indian, Hamite, Asian, whatever the case may be, Japhite, you're going into slavery. Read.
shall go into captivity.
You're what?
Shall go into captivity.
You're going into captivity, man. This hasn't happened yet. The prophet Jeremiah isn't a liar. Most High God didn't put this prophecy in his mouth and wrote down for it not to come to pass, man. It's going to happen. But yeah, well, the moral of the story is, I didn't finish my lesson, but moral of the story is our people need to come back to the truth, wake up from this slumber, this spiritual sleep, and get out of the Christian church, man. Or whatever religion you caught up in that's outside of this Bible. But give me that.
Sirach 23 and 27. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of Yahweh.
Go ahead.
and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of Yahweh.
Nothing sweeter than take heed of the commandments of Yahweh. That's our job. That's the covenant we signed up for. That's what we got to hearken to and take heed to, man. And have faith that we can do it by pointing to Christ, to the person that did it perfectly. Read.
And it is great glory to follow Yahweh, and to be received of him is long life.
Right. From receiving help and have a long life is the one in the elect this time around. The truth is, will get their chance in the kingdom, being reborn in the right spirit, in the new covenant, having that fleshy heart. And our people need to wake up before it's too late, man, because people that stream peace and safety right now, they're lying to you. We're going to tell you the truth. Death and destruction coming to America, and we hope it comes quickly, man. But with that, we're going to close out. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Ma'ashak, Yahushai, and say shalom, man.